this is the last day of lessons before the holiday kicks in. Is that correct? Yes. So you're probably waiting to get through today. I guess you can just, at least you can just sit back and relax, really, can't you? So we'll just wait 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll get started. I'm going to start with a video today. Just give me a minute and then we'll get going. All right, then we'll get started, shall we? So what I want to do to begin with this afternoon is talk about the science of persuasion. Okay, and we're going to watch, basically this is a very famous video where they talk about a book which is called Persuasion. And in this book, it gives 6 factors that that can be used to persuade people. Okay, there are 6 of them. So what I want you to do is watch the video and then identify those 6 elements of persuasion. Okay, watch the video and tell me what are the 6 elements of persuasion now. So let's give you the screen share. Wait a minute.
Researchers have been studying the factors that influence us to say yes to the...
Okay, so can just check, hopefully you can see the screen, yeah? So have a look at this video and then you can tell me what those elements are. All right, as you can see, it's about 10 minutes long. Okay, here we go.
Requests of others for over 60 years. And there can be no doubt that there's a science to how we are persuaded. And a lot of this science is surprising. When making a decision, it would be nice to think that people consider all the available information in order to guide their thinking. But the reality is very often different. In the increasingly overloaded lives we lead, more than ever, we need shortcuts or rules of thumb to guide our decision making. My own research has identified just 6 of these shortcuts as universals that guide human behavior. They are reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. Understanding these shortcuts and employing them in an ethical manner can significantly increase the chances that someone will be persuaded by your request. Let's take a closer look at each in turn.
So, the first universal principle of influence is reciprocity. Simply put, people are obliged to give back to others the form of behavior, gift, or service that they have received first. If a friend invites you to their party, there's an obligation for you to invite them to a future party you are hosting. If a colleague does you a favor, then you owe that colleague a favor. And in the context of a social obligation, people are more likely to say yes to those that they owe. One of the best demonstrations of the principle of reciprocation comes from a series of studies conducted in restaurants. So the last time you visit a restaurant, there's a good chance that the waiter or waitress will have given you a gift, probably at about the same time that they bring you a bill. A liqueur perhaps, or a fortune cookie, or perhaps a simple mint. So here's the question. Does the giving of a mint have any influence over how much tip you're going to leave them? Most people will say no, but that mint can make a surprising difference. In the study, giving diners a single mint at the end of their meal typically increased tips by around 3%. Interestingly, if the gift is doubled and 2 mints are provided, tips don't double. They quadruple, a 14% increase in tips. But perhaps most interestingly of all is the fact that if the waiter provides 1 mint, starts to walk away from the table, but pauses, turns back, and says, "For you nice people, here's an extra mint," tips go through the roof. A 23% increase, influenced not by what was given, but how it was given. So the key to using the principle of reciprocation is to be the first to give and to ensure that what you give is personalized and unexpected.
The second universal principle of persuasion is scarcity. Simply put, people want more of those things they can have less of. When British Airways announced in 2003 that they would no longer be operating the twice-daily London-New York Concorde flight because it had become uneconomical to run, sales the very next day took off. Notice that nothing had changed about the Concorde itself. It certainly didn't fly any faster, the service didn't suddenly get better, and the airfare didn't drop. It had simply become a scarce resource, and as a result, people wanted it more. So when it comes to effectively persuading others using the scarcity principle, the science is clear. It's not enough simply to tell people about the benefits they'll gain if they choose your products and services. You'll also need to point out what is unique about your proposition and what they stand to lose if they fail to consider your proposal.
Our third principle of influence is the principle of authority, the idea that people follow the lead of credible, knowledgeable experts. Physiotherapists, for example, are able to persuade more of their patients to comply with recommended exercise programs if they display their medical diplomas on the walls of their consulting rooms. People are more likely to give change for a parking meter to a complete stranger if that requester wears a uniform rather than casual clothes. What the science is telling us is that it's important to signal to others what makes you a credible, knowledgeable authority before you make your influence attempt. Of course, this can present problems. You can hardly go around telling potential customers how brilliant you are, but you can certainly arrange for someone to do it for you. And surprisingly, the science tells us that it doesn't seem to matter if the person who introduces you is not only connected to you, but also likely to prosper from the introduction themselves. One group of real estate agents were able to increase both the number of property appraisals and the number of subsequent contracts that they wrote by arranging for reception staff who answered customer inquiries to first mention their colleagues' credentials and expertise. So, customers interested in letting a property were told, "Lettings? Let me connect you with Sandra, who has over 15 years' experience letting properties in this area." Customers who wanted more information about selling properties were told, Speak to Peter, our head of sales. He has over 20 years experience selling properties. I'll put you through now. The impact of this expert introduction led to a 20% rise in the number of appointments and a 15% increase in the number of signed contracts. Not bad for a small change informed from persuasion science that was both ethical and costless to implement.
The next principle is consistency. People like to be consistent with the things they have previously said or done. Consistency is activated by looking for and asking for small initial commitments that can be made. In one famous set of studies, researchers found, rather unsurprisingly, that very few people would be willing to erect an unsightly wooden board on their front lawn to support a Drive Safely campaign in their neighborhood. However, in a similar neighborhood close by, 4 times as many homeowners indicated that they would be willing to erect this unsightly billboard. Why? Because 10 days previously, they had agreed to place a small postcard in the front window of their home that signaled their support for a Drive Safely campaign. That small card was the initial commitment that led to a 400% increase in a much bigger but still consistent change. So, when seeking to influence using the consistency principle, the detective of influence looks for voluntary, active, and public commitments, and ideally gets those commitments in writing. For example, one recent study reduced missed appointments at health centers by 18%, simply by asking the patients rather than the staff to write down appointment details on the future appointment card.
The fifth principle is the principle of liking. People prefer to say yes to those that they like. But what causes one person to like another? Persuasion science tells us that there are 3 important factors. We like people who are similar to us, we like people who pay us compliments, and we like people who cooperate with us towards mutual goals. As more and more of the interactions that we are having take place online, it might be worth asking whether these factors can be employed effectively in, let's say, online negotiations. In a series of negotiation studies carried out between MBA students at 2 well-known business schools, some groups were told, time is money, get straight down to business. In this group, around 55% were able to come to an agreement. A second group, however, were told, before you begin negotiating, exchange some personal information with each other. Identify a similarity you share in common, then begin negotiating. In this group, 90% of them were able to come to successful and agreeable outcomes that were typically worth 18% more to both parties. So to harness this powerful principle of liking, be sure to look for areas of similarity that you share with others and genuine compliments you could give before you get down to business.
The final principle is consensus. Especially when they are uncertain, people will look to the actions and behaviors of others to determine their own. You may have noticed that hotels often place a small card in bathrooms that attempt to persuade guests to reuse their towels and linen. Most do this by drawing a guest's attention to the benefits that reuse can have on environmental protection. It turns out that this is a pretty effective strategy, leading to around 35% compliance. But could there be an even more effective way? Well, it turns out that about 75% of people who check into a hotel for 4 nights or longer will reuse their towels at some point during their stay. So what would happen if we took a lesson from the principle of consensus and simply included that information on the cards and said that 75% of our guests reuse their towels at some time during their stay? So please do so as well. It turns out that when we do this, towel reuse rises by 26%. Now imagine the next time you stay in a hotel, you saw one of these signs. You picked it up and you read the following message. 75% of people who have stayed in this room have reused their towel. What would you think? Well, here's what you might think. I hope they're not the same towels. And like most people, you probably think that this sign will have no influence on your behavior whatsoever. But it turns out that changing just a few words on a sign to honestly point out what comparable previous guests have done was the single most effective message, leading to a 33% increase in reuse. So, the science is telling us that rather than relying on our own ability to persuade others, we can point to what many others are already doing, especially many similar others.
So there we have it, 6 scientifically validated principles of persuasion that provide for small, practical, often costless changes that can lead to big differences in your ability to influence and persuade others in an entirely ethical way. They are the secrets from the science of persuasion.
Okay, so let me just give you the, there is the YouTube link for you. So please take a copy of that YouTube link, and you can see that, let me just go back to the share. You can see that it has 12.5 million, hang on, let me go back here.
That there's a science.
So you can see it's got 12.5 million views to show you that this is pretty much an established principle here. We'll quickly go back to the 6. Now, the video explains all 6 very clearly, so I'm not going to repeat too much of what they've said, but I'll just quickly review. Number 1, reciprocity, which might be a word that you have not experienced. Reciprocity is about give and take. Okay, so reciprocity is the idea that if I give you something, then you feel that you have to return something to me. Okay, so just as, you know, if your friend helps you, then you will feel that you have to help your friend. Okay, that's the general idea of reciprocity. Sometimes in international relations, we see reciprocity. So, for example, if Singapore gives Indonesia people a 30-day visa for Singapore, then Indonesia applies reciprocity with Singapore by giving Singaporean people 30 days for Indonesia, like that. So that's the idea of reciprocity. Number 2, scarcity. I will just add the point that they do talk about in the video, which is this idea of fear of loss, which can be a very motivating point, where if you're scared of losing something, that's going to motivate you to take action. So that's what the psychological button that scarcity applies. And you see that a lot. I've seen billboards around Jakarta for things like condominiums and apartments, where they'll sort of say, akhir Juli harga naik 20%, like that. And they're trying to get that scarcity, make sure that they lock in the purchase now before the price increases. And then number 3, I think authority is quite clear. And that was a very clever example that they gave about the real estate, where they had the receptionist first kind of introduce the person by saying, oh, you should talk to Mr. Smith, who has 20 years of experience. And that was quite a clever thing to do. And then consistency, again, remember, consistency is a psychological thing where most of us like to believe that we do what we say we're going to do, okay? So the idea behind consistency, one of the things is getting a baby step that is very easy. And I think we talked about this with the headlines, writing headlines. If you remember, some of the headlines are like, do this in 1 or 2 easy steps to achieve your result. So starting off with a very small and easy thing can make people do in the next step. They will be more open to taking action. And sometimes that's why with sales, you might sell something at a very low price first, because it's easy to only spend a small amount of money. And then the second time you can say, oh, well, you know, you bought our amazingly cheap thing here. Now, why don't you get something that is even better? And that is $100 or a lot bigger price. Number 5, liking. I think that is clear enough. Making sure that there is not, liking here is a bit general. It's having common shared interests. So it might not be, it doesn't always have to be a strong sort of feeling of friendship, but something where you have common interests, where you share the same kind of things that you like. Okay, so that can be hobbies and interests, football teams, or whatever it is. And then number 6, consensus. Of course, that is where other people, so using testimonials and messages from other people can be very powerful. Okay, so you've got the link, and I do suggest that you go through it and watch this. It is such an important thing that you need to make notes on it. I'll probably put something about these principles of influence in the final test. Okay. Now I'll just quickly show you the book. So this video is based on the book. We won't watch the whole video, but I'll quickly introduce the book summary, because you might want to read the whole book itself and learn more about these principles. So let's just quickly watch 1 or 2 minutes of this.
There's a feeling you get when you realize that something you couldn't do before
I recently read Influence by Robert Cialdini. Imagine getting a knock on your front door. You open the door and see a man in a nicely tailored suit with a vacuum. He greets you with a cheerful voice and says, "Hi, my name's Rick. I'm a senior sales associate at Vacuum Plus." He hands you his business card and says, "It's about to rain. Could I come in for a minute and tell you why this vacuum could be the last vacuum you'll ever need?" Let's say the pandemic has ended, so you comply with his request. When he steps inside, he compliments you on your choice of artwork and mentions that he has a similar painting of a mountain range on his wall at his home. After some friendly chit-chat about artwork, he shows you the vacuum he's selling and mentions that 3 of your neighbors have recently bought one from him. Then he shows you a few special features on the vacuum, and offers to leave the vacuum with you for the weekend so you can try it out, along with a care package of free cleaning supplies. When he returns on Monday, he informs you that he's sold all his vacuum units over the weekend, and the vacuum you're sampling is the last unit he has in stock. A few days ago, you didn't think about getting a vacuum, but now you're pulling your credit card out, about to buy one. What happened? Author and psychologist Robert Cialdini.
Okay, I'll stop it there. I'll share this video with you as well. So just to go back right to the beginning. Oops.
I recently read Influence.
So there you go. That is the book title. It's just worth making a note of here. Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion, and the author is Robert Cialdini. Okay. So here's the YouTube link for the book summary. It's worth watching that YouTube link as well, and even reading the book. All right. Okay. Any questions about the science of persuasion? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an assignment now. Now, let me just check the deadline for this. Right, so what we're going to do is I want you to write an advertisement, okay? So that's write an advertisement for what? Well, I'm going to show you another YouTube video that will describe the products, and we're going to watch one of these unboxing videos. Do any of you watch the tech unboxing videos? Because this is a tech unboxing video of a number of different accessories. Okay, so let's watch the video first, and then I'll explain the details. Just bear with me a second, please. Okay, yeah, this is it.
Hey guys, it's Justine, and today
Okay, everybody. So one more YouTube. We'll go through the unboxing video, and then I'll just explain in a bit more detail what the task is. Okay. What basically I want you'll need to watch this video carefully, because I want you to write one advertisement, but one advertisement for all of the products, all of the pink products that the presenter promotes. Okay, she does a few health things, I think, at the beginning, but I want you to concentrate on the pink things. Let's watch the video first so you understand what I'm talking about, and then I'll explain the task in more detail.
What is inside this box is something that is so perfect that I think that it was actually made just for me. Like it should have my name on it, but it doesn't. But what name, or rather a logo that it has on it, is the Razer logo, because this is a brand new 13-inch blade stealth, and it is pink. I think that you can feel my excitement. Like, I'm trying to keep sort of calm, because sometimes when I get really excited, you guys say that I'm overreacting, but I'm not. I just get very excited about things that I like and that I'm passionate about. So with that being said, let's open it up. Also for this unboxing, since everything is beautiful and pink, we've got this. This is one of my favorite unboxing knives. And not only are we going to be unboxing the laptop, but I've also got a bunch of their pink accessories as well. So that is in a box over here. Just know that this video is probably never going to end. But first, friends, the laptop. I put this away. Oh God, thumbs. I am not strong. This is also one of my favorites. It is so beautiful. Oh, there's a box inside of a box. Surprise. We've also got this. Don't need that anymore. First things first, we've got our power cable. This is so freaking exciting. Look at this. So this is the 13-inch. Wow. What I love about this is definitely something that I can also travel with. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, shh, listen. I think my nails maybe are a little aggressive. It's so light. I'm so shocked. So we've got two USB ports here. We've got USB-A, USB-C. We've also got the same, but also a headphone jack. What else do we have in here? What's this? Is this a note? Is it a note for me? So they don't actually call this pink, they call it quartz, which is great because quartz crystal is probably one of my favorite crystals. Look at this. Holographic stickers. You guys are about to see the most aggressive quartz setup ever. Let's turn this on. It's so beautiful. Like, this thing looks so great. I'm honestly shocked. Like, it looks so good. Wow. So this is a part of the Blade Stealth line, and this particular model came out in December, but now it is out in pink. Well, it's actually called quartz, that's the official Razer color. But if you ask me, this looks pink to me. I'm gonna plug this in, let it charge up, and now let's get to some other really fun quartz unboxings. Oh gosh, I've unboxed a few quartz items previously, but a bunch of these are not necessarily new products, but they are new in the color quartz. I have dropped something. Oh my gosh, oh shoot. This makeup powder. So I just dropped this, and then I dropped the knife on top of it. This is why I'm not a beauty guru. Oh boy, we've got so many things to unbox here. I'm not really sure what to start with, but let's just think about this logically. I've got my laptop. I'm probably gonna want a mouse. And then for my mouse, I'm gonna need a mouse pad. So let's start with those things. It's so beautiful. So I have a bunch of other pink Razer things that I got previously, but my sister and I split them up because she took half and then I took the other half. So this is great because now we both can have pink things. So now we've got our mouse. Make sure I don't lose added pieces. You can swap out this little guy if you want a shorter little button. So we've got our mouse, we've got our laptop. We're gonna need a mouse pad, obviously. This thing is huge. I have been eyeing one of these up for quite a while, actually. And today is my day. More stickers. Gosh, these are so beautiful. So what's great about this is it has LED lights all around it. I'm also working on redoing my office again. So this is gonna be such a perfect addition. Oh yes, okay, this is so incredible. You basically can just have an entire freaking desk be a mouse pad. So this is going to be great for the setup that I'm currently working on. It's probably going to be a while until I finish it because realistically, I've been trying to do this for over a year, and here I am, not accomplishing all of the tasks that I would like. Probably a little aggressive for my laptop setup here, but never say never, says Justin Bieber. This is going to get interesting because I only have 2 USB ports on here. But what I do have is on this base station for my headphones, this gives me 3 additional ports. So what that means, my friends, that's going to be the next thing that I have to open. So it's great is you can also adjust all of these colors inside of the Razer Synapse app, which you would think that I would have internet in my house, but for whatever reason, Spectrum keeps failing me. So I can't even connect to the internet right now. Hi, I'm Justine. I don't even have internet. Like, I'm gonna have to tether to my phone. So we're gonna open this up next so that we'll be able to have additional USB ports. This stand is actually really nice. This is gonna look so good in my new setup. Like, I'm so hyped to show it to you guys. I still have the box stuck to it. So we've got our headphone stand now. We're gonna plug this in over here. This is gonna be so wild. I know there's a lot of cables going on, but there are LED lights here. We've got LED lights at the bottom of the headphone stand. This is the Siren X. This is one of the mini little microphones that they have. And I love this one because I probably will use this when I'm traveling. I have one of their larger ones, and it's actually the microphone that I use all the time to record all of my VO. I'm running out of room. I love that everything matches. I feel like the stereotypical girl right now, but you know what? I'm living a dream that I never thought would be possible when I was a little girl. Like, I wanted pink accessories. Guess what we didn't have? So also inside this box, we've got a USB cable, base stand here for this. Looks like this just screws in here. That screws in here. This is like freaking Barbie's dream house. Barbie's gaming dream house. I'm loving it. So this is one of the new Kraken headphones. Also comes in quartz. The ear cups have been updated. They also have a little extra padding at the top, so for more comfort. And the new microphone has better noise canceling. Smells fresh. It smells like a fresh freaking headset. This is so excessive. I can't even handle it. So I can also plug in my headphones into the microphone as well. So we've only got one more thing left to open, and it's the keyboard. Yeah, this looks good. I've run out of desk space. Okay, well, here's the keyboard. Razer definitely has outdone themselves with their quartz. Okay, we're here setting up. I just heard headphones pop on. Let me watch a YouTube video. Let me hear a song or something. What's popping on YouTube? Let's see, I'll look up Slayer, Angel of Death. This video, that is not even a video, has 18 million views. I just keep thinking of high school Justine listening to Slayer, and it was a time of my life. I don't regret it. One of the cool things in the Razer Synapse app, like I was mentioning before, you're actually able to customize all of the LED colors. So inside Chroma Studio, you have all of these little presets and effects that you can add. You can change colors, all kinds of plugins and add-ons that you can get to work with the LED lights with Razer, with your hue lights. So it's really cool because you can not only control the LED lights on your computer, but you can basically control the lights in your house as well. Let me just shut off one of these lights. I'll shut off the big guy. Does that help? Can you guys see some things? Let's click over here to lighting. Yeah, that looks good. The breathing, it's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna basically just making everything pink. Go figure. Pink, okay. Oh my gosh, everything is breathing. Okay, I'll turn the lights back on. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. I'm definitely looking forward to more people getting their hands on these because they are so awesome. And I'm a huge fan of Razer and all of their products. And I'm especially a huge fan of the quartz line. I know, it might be stereotypical, but
Right. So you'll need to. Oops. Hang on. Okay, there we go. So that is the link for the video, all right? And the product is, I think most of you know, it's the most of you have heard of Razor, haven't you? So the product will be the Razor Quartz line. And just in case you didn't get it, there's a laptop. What else was there? There was the headphones with the stand. Then they had the mouse and the mouse pad. And they had the keyboard. So there were all those accessories, okay? Now, I want you to just write one, imagine that the laptop, just like we saw in the unboxing video, that you're writing an advertisement for the whole package, okay? Everything together, the laptop and the accessories, okay? Now, that is just the introduction video. I do suggest that you go to the Razer website and research, have a look at the products, and also maybe do some other social media research. If you like, you can go on, you can look at other reviews that people have done on these products, because remember, writing advertisements means market research, okay? And I just want one advertisement of 2 pages. So it will be 2 pages maximum to advertise this package. And it needs to be PDF format, okay? You need to include the following items, okay? So you need to include headlines, main body, text, visuals, and the CTA, the call to action, okay? Now, the deadline for this is June 7th, okay? So that gives you about 3 weeks to do it. I know there's a nice long holiday period, so you've got plenty of time to work on this, all right? So that is the assignment. Does anyone have any questions? CTA means call to action, Kevin. Okay. That is what you want the person who reads the advertisement, what you want them to do. Visuals, yes. So visuals, I mean photographs, okay? Or it could be icon. When I say visuals, I mean photographs, icons, those 2 things, really. Any other questions? Yeah, yes, that's right, Dea. It's, as I said, no more than 2 pages. So it's kind of like, yeah, a poster, a brochure, something like that, yes. Maximum 2 pages, okay? Now you can use, it's up to you. I want you, you need to submit it in PDF, but of course you're welcome to use Canva. If you have Canva, you can have a go at that, and you can use something like Canva to produce and help you write your design, your advertisement a bit better. If I think about it, Canva is probably the easiest one to use. They do have, you can register for free, I believe. I know that, you know, for the full service you have to pay, but you can use a free version of Canva to do it. You don't have to, of course, or you can use other programs if you like. Okay, anything else you would like to ask? Okay, so I think I've answered all your questions. Just to remind you to make a note of the YouTube link and links that I have given you, and make sure that before you write your advertisement, you do some research on these products, okay? It's important to understand your product before you write your advertisement. One other tip about this is, obviously we're looking at pink gear, so your advertisement is obviously going to have a specific audience, right? This is you know, computer gear designed for young females, basically, right? So we already know, one reason I like using this video is because we have a very clear target market for the products. So that's going to influence how you write your advertisement and maybe the kind of photographs you use in your advertisement as well. So bear in mind the target audience for your advertisement there, okay? And guys, don't be shy of pink. Okay, if you're writing for advertisements, you need to be flexible and write different kinds of advertisements for different people. Okay, so thank you for that. As I said, the deadline is June 7, okay? So June 7. Now, I better tell you how to submit it as well. Okay, so I guess what you'll have to do is you'll have to submit by email. Just give me a second. Okay, so you can submit your assignment by PDF to my Venus email. Now, make sure that in the subject of your email, you just title it Assignment English in Marketing and Advertising. Okay, that way, I can group your emails, and I can see exactly how many. I can put them all together in one folder. Okay. All right then. So let's move on then. For the rest of the lesson, I'm going to take you through some slides now. So let me go to the screen share. And I'm going to talk about this concept of power emotions in advertising. Okay. We've talked about these rules. You remember that people buy for emotional reasons, and a lot of advertising is about getting people's emotions activated as a motivator for them. So we're going to talk a bit more about these, what we call power emotions. Okay, so stimulate emotions to reach more prospects more deeply. And we've got an example from a book here. Emma felt frightened, apprehensive, yes, but also elated and excited. Her feelings all tumbled and mixed together like a stew of varied ingredients tossed into the same pot. So this is a quote of like overwhelmed by emotions. And a power emotion is a strong feeling within your prospect that moves him or her to action. So often you can use more than one emotion, but one emotion will be dominant, but you can use more than one in your advertisement. So I like this list. This list is worth paying attention to. We have a list of 37 powerful emotions that are used in advertising. So we'll go through them. You probably know most of these in terms of the vocabulary, but let me just explain some of them. So curiosity, optimism, laziness, anger. So notice these emotions can be positive and they can be negative. It's not always true that only positive emotions make people do things. We do things because of negative emotions as well. If you take laziness, it's kind of nice to get results even if we are lazy. Okay, get rich quick advertisements always capture on this idea of getting rich but still being lazy. You don't have to work hard to get rich, and that is still quite attractive there. So anger, patriotism, annoyance, disgust. That can be, if we talk about things like anti-cigarette advertising, or you know, the plastic, when we saw all of those pictures of plastic rubbish in the seas, that kind of triggers a feeling of disgust, and we want to change the situation there. Guilt is the same thing. Guilt is often used in advertising. Confusion. With advertisements, the emotion here is being free from confusion. So you might have the emotion that starts is, are you confused about what to do for your future? Well, here we are. We can help you make a clear plan for your future. Now, altruism is about helping others, okay? So altruism is a positive emotion, and it is this feeling good by helping others. And obviously, charities might use the emotion of altruism. Benevolence, and looking at row number 2 now, benevolence maybe is a new vocabulary for you. That means being kind, okay? Showing kindness. Boredom, sadness, pride, I'm sure you know those vocabulary words. Whimsy means like a little bit crazy. Funny, crazy type thing, okay? That iJustine video that we saw, she got a little bit whimsy at times, you know, doing kind of crazy or silly things. Surprise and shyness, you know. Now, indifference, of course, is a negative emotion. Indifference is, you know, again, that is the emotion to avoid. It means, indifference means you don't care. Okay, and nobody likes to be told we don't care about something. If we are told that we don't care, then we kind of want to change the situation to do something. Wit means being funny. And then column 3, exhaustion, happiness, pessimism, desperation, love, envy, and lust. So, you know, lust is lust. Hopefully you understand what lust means, but that's when they show, basically they show attractive people to advertise products. And then we have fear, stupidity, insecurity. Complacence is very similar to indifference. So complacence means, again, where you don't care. So the advertisements that sort of say, people don't care about this problem, we must do something. Let's not be complacent. Let's take action and care about it. Revenge, passion, loneliness, sympathy, embarrassment. Vanity is about how good or bad you look. So if we talk about weight, weight loss programs, you often use the emotion of vanity, an exercise program to make us look good appeals to our vanity. Those before and after things are often about the vanity. So here, as I said, we have the negative and positive emotions in this list. If it is a negative emotion, the advertisement is kind of this moving away from it. and your advertisement is kind of says, well, let's move away from anger, let's lose our feeling of boredom, let's lose our fear, okay, moving away and dropping those negative emotions. If they're positive emotions, they're all about kind of catching or collecting that positive emotion and experiencing that positive emotion from the advertisement. Okay? Now, I'll give you this list later. Again, it is worth paying attention to this particular list. Okay? So, this is the buying steps, okay, where you give the emotion creates desire and the desire creates action, okay? You know, let's say, well, if you think about those pink razor accessories, what emotions did they cause inside you? Did they create a desire? You might be, maybe you're not going to buy it, but maybe you had that internal desire to purchase those products. If you had the money, you might go and purchase them. So emotion leads to desire, which leads to action. That is the principle there. So often you have to think about these things from the prospect's perspective. You need to think about these ideas of beliefs, feelings, and desires. And this is how you can identify the emotions that you're going to use in your advertisement. So belief is attitude about a product. A feeling is, you know, do they feel, do you want them to feel confident or brash? And what are the desires? What goals or hopes does your prospect want to achieve? So again, we have this example. If you just look at this example on the right, okay, you know, it's full of this kind of emotion here. Relax, you've just found the stress-free way to plan a beautiful romantic wedding. So notice here the emotion is relax, stress-free, beautiful, romantic. All of those words access our emotions there. And again, underneath the photograph, the secret to a memorable wedding is finding the right wedding planner. And even the photograph, you can see the bride and groom, and they're in this romantic setting, they're holding hands, and this simple advertisement gives this idea of, you know, the emotional value of the wedding planner, okay? With weddings, of course, that's what we want. We want it to be a stress-free, romantic kind of happy experience that will stay in the memory. So obviously this advertisement does quite a good job of getting the emotions out there. Okay, so let's look at this guy right now. We've got this example of Frank, and you just looking at the photograph, there's a number of things that you can tell from this guy, okay? Again, I mean, this material I'm sharing with you is from America, so it might be kind of culturally different to the advertisements that you might use in Indonesia, but the strategies are the same. First thing, of course, is he's pretty old, isn't he? Right? So we can probably assume that, is he working or not? I don't think so. He looks retired, doesn't he? Now we can also see he's holding a fishing rod and he's got like the fishing net, and he's wearing that special vest for holding all his fishing gear. Okay, so one thing we can say a number of things about Frank just from this photograph. Number one, he's old. Number two, he's retired. Number three is that he likes to go fishing in the countryside, and also that he has maybe the free time to do it. Okay? So you've got the idea of Frank. Now we can think about his problems, okay? So we've got some prompts here. Obviously, he is old, so he's a granddad. What kind of things do grandfathers worry about? And yes, you can see some suggestions here. Worried about dying, medical bills, his families, maybe the life of his children are important, or his wife, medication, financial security, drugs, and things like that. Now, obviously, you guys are nice and young, but if you think about your grandparents, these are perhaps common things that grandparents have to worry about. So although Frank seems quite happy and has got a nice retirement life, we could say that he has some fears, okay? He might be fear of loss, especially in terms of health, fear about the worries and burdens of his family. So your advertisement towards Frank could address those, if you like, emotional problems and offer solutions to those problems. Obviously, it would get Frank's attention if you started talking about, solutions to, families, the burdens of his children and his grandchildren. If you can have an advertisement and a product or service that will help his grandchildren and his children have a better life in the future, then that would be interesting. It would be getting Frank's attention. So we've talked about this a little bit to identify an emotion. Ask, so what? And with this example, we've got this is a short photograph advertisement. Volvo saved my life. And you go through the so what. Now, Volvo, you might know, are famous for their safe design. And you've got the features here, patented frame, top crash testing. So the first two are the features. Then we get to the so what. So what does it mean that it's got the best crash testing results? Well, it means that you get to the destination while keeping your family safe. So what does that mean? It means that you are being a good parent because you are choosing the safe option to take care of your family. And so if you're a good parent, so what does that mean? It means that you're a hero. Okay? And there we've got to the kind of power emotion of, you know, buy a Volvo and become a hero is the emotion that you can trigger, which will result in action. Now you'll see this if you look at most advertisements on when you go on social media and you observe the advertisements, you'll see that they try and activate the emotional reaction in the reader as much as possible. Here's another one. So we start with the feature. You can see the picture. This is a swimming device there. So we've got, this is the product. It's an inflatable mini airbag. And of course it fills with air and pulls you to the water surface. So this is an aid for people who cannot swim or who are not strong swimmers. And again, you've got another feature here stored in a wristband, and it's small, easy to use, less bulky than a PFD. I think PFD means personal flotation device, okay, which, you know, is what the tools that you might see swimming instructors use. Okay, now obviously they are the features, but the benefits here is that the last 2 points, firstly, you're more likely to wear it because it is small and easy to use. It is stored in a wristband, okay? It's a mini airbag. And of course, the ultimate benefit is to save you from drowning like that. And the headline, you can see the headline in the example on the right, your companion in and around water, okay? If you need to help to stay afloat, pull the lever and an inflation bag will pull you to the surface, okay? Notice here, just a quick sideline, we have quotations from the New York Times and the NBC News. So here we have one of the persuasion principles that is being used here, okay? So here you've got authority, okay? You've got the two very famous newspapers, or well, one is TV, isn't it? The New York Times is the newspaper, and then NBC is an American TV news network. So notice these quotations that give authority to the advertisement. So another thing is to, especially observe if you're trying to discover the relevant emotions that you want to use. So Volvo, we had safety. Frank, the old man, we had perhaps financial products. You might be thinking about what kind of emotion am I going to use? So online chat rooms and social media can help you in your customer research to kind of find out what are the emotional problems that can be connected with your product or service. Okay, so Here, this is an example of curiosity, okay? This is often used a lot. As you can see, curiosity makes you the reader want to know more, okay? Can you tell which one of these healthy meals is loaded with one of the deadliest poisons in history? So you've got two emotions as well. As you can see, you've got curiosity, but this reference to deadliest poison is fear, isn't it? None of us want to eat something that could be a deadly poison to us. So we have curiosity and fear inside these headlines, okay? And you've got these three photos. So the photographs now, I have to look at the photographs, and I have to find out which one is good for me. Is it nasi goreng, or is it something else? You've seen this a lot. This comes up in YouTube. You can see a lot of these variations on this. The answer below may shock you. Is curiosity again. I know it's overused a lot, and certainly the kind of YouTube titles are used there. This amazing thing blew me away. It shocked me. And all of that is just trying to activate curiosity in the reader so that they look at the advertisement in more detail. So this one is vanity. Vanity, of course, means like making ourselves look good, be satisfied with our appearance, and of course, vanity is always in the kind of lose weight, whether it is a diet thing or an exercise thing. Vanity is the emotion that is often used, especially with before and after type photographs like this guy. You can see it's a before after thing there. Miracle slimming system. I don't even know what this is. I think it's one of these special clothes things that you can wear that is supposed to, by wearing it, it's supposed to make you thin or something. But they've also got, diets, exercise gear, teeth whitening, and makeup is, another thing for vanity. They've got language courses in there as well. So this is an example of benevolence, meaning, kind, being kindness. So this is a positive one where, we want to feel that we are kind people. And you can see from the photograph, this is, the kind of positive image that might encourage us. This is a UNICEF. I'm sure you are familiar with UNICEF, and this appeals to our natural feeling that we want to be kind to people. And you can see the headline, every gift you purchase helps save children's lives. Okay, and the photograph supports all that positive idea of being kindness, making the mother and the baby happy. So this one is insecurity. So insecurity is a negative emotion, self-doubt and lack of confidence. So this is something we want to lose, don't we? And so advertisements that address insecurity are all about losing our self-doubt, losing our lack of confidence. and making us want to feel more important. And this is Mensa, which is one of those intelligence standards. It's standardized intelligence tests there. So the idea here is if you are part of this group, then you can become more important, you become something more special. Now, there is the idea of the golden thread, where the one major emotion is referred to throughout the advertisement. Let me show you what I mean here. So I'm going to just go through these a little bit. Now, let's look at this. So this is, I'm not sure if you know SAT. SAT is the test that the American students take to enter university, okay? I believe most countries, I think you have one here as well, don't you? Not so much for private universities, but if you want to join something like the government, the national universities, as far as I know, there is one standard test that all of the students take around Indonesia. And if you get a good score, then maybe you can get a scholarship, or maybe you get to go to one of the top national government universities in the country. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I believe. Anyway, in America, it's called SAT. So this is the standard admission test. Okay. Now, the golden thread here is obviously to get a good score, okay? And notice here they've just mentioned it once, okay? Boost SAT. But if we look at this advertisement, it's the same thing, SAT practice test, okay? Notice that in the text, the same thing is mentioned more than one time. So this is what we mean by the golden thread, where you keep on focusing on this idea. So best results, okay? Higher ACT and SAT, greater success, career dreams, okay? So you've got this repetition of basically the same emotion of achievement and success that comes through. It's using slightly different vocabulary, but it is repeated throughout this is a landing page, okay? Just a simple landing page on the web, but you have this idea that goes through more than once. And in the example here, again, you can just read this. You can see they are highlighted in yellow. So we have improve scores, conquer the big tests, achieve greater success, become a strong high school student, and even stronger college student. It's kind of the same thing, really. It's using different vocabulary, but it's basically repeating the same emotion of like getting achievement and getting success in the test. And this is something that is worth doing in advertisements, where you get that one emotion and you put it in again and again and again. Okay, so I think that's probably a good point to stop my talk about the importance of emotions. I'd just like to suggest to you to understand this is do some observation. When you encounter advertisements on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and all those social media platforms, analyze the advertisement and think, what kind of emotions are they is the advertiser trying to make me feel? If I see this this advertisement, what emotion do I experience? And that will help you become a lot more skilled at reading and understanding advertisements. Okay? So we're running to the end of today's meeting. I'll stop the share. Now, do any of you have any questions? No questions then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop here. You can take a break and we'll come back. We've got English for professionals in 30 minutes time. I'll see you then. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yep,
Thank you, sir.
okay.